Hello viewers, you're watching my YouTube channel BioHub and I'm your facilitator Dr. Seema Sharma. I'm back with next part of this chapter, respiration. Till now, we have covered respiration in case of plants, in case of lower level organisms. But this topic is not just another run-of-the-mill topic. This is very special topic. It's about respiration in case of human beings. And what makes it so special? It will give you an insight into what happens to the air which you breathe in that reaches into the lungs. Dear viewers, take a deep breath and come along. Let's explore about this. Let's learn biology. The learning objective of this video is that after watching this video, two things will be clear to my viewers. First, what are the various parts of human respiratory system? And second, what is the process of respiration? Up to this, you have clear idea about respiration. That respiration deals with the oxidation of glucose, production of carbon dioxide and water, and release of energy. This energy is utilized by living organisms to carry out its various life processes. Carbon dioxide and water vapors, they are waste products, so they are expelled out from the body. So I want to start this topic by sharing certain special facts with respect to respiration. Fact number one, most people can hold their breath between 30 seconds to 2 minutes on an average and not more than that. This shows the importance of this life process for us. Second fact about respiration is the normal respiration rate for an adult at rest is between 12 to 20 breaths per minute. A person's respiratory rate is the number of breaths he or she takes per minute. Third, an interesting fact about respiration is an average person breathes in around 11,000 liters of air every day. You know, viewers, we have two lungs and heart is also accommodated between these two lungs. So to accommodate the heart, the left lung is smaller than the right lung in human beings. And last, and one more interesting fact, it is about our nose. Our nose acts like a filter, heater, and humidifier. Now, coming to respiratory system in humans, we can divide this system into basically two parts. First, we are going to learn about the parts of human respiratory system, and here we will go through the position, structure, and function of all the organs which are involved in respiration in human beings. The process of respiration is also covered in detail in this video, and in that we are going to explore about external respiration and internal respiration. First, let's take up the parts of human respiratory system. This is our learning objective number one, the parts. Basically, we can divide our respiratory system into two parts, upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. The part of respiratory tract which is up to larynx, which is up to your vocal cords, that is called upper respiratory tract, and the part of respiratory system which is below that, it includes windpipe, bronchi, and lungs, and further subparts which are present in the lungs, they are included in the lower respiratory tract. The main organs of the respiratory system in humans used for taking in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide and water during respiration, they start from our nostrils, our nose. Then one tubular structure is there which is called as windpipe. This windpipe further divides into two subtubes and enters into these two balloon-shaped structure which are called as lungs. Human beings have two lungs. These lungs, they are placed on a special platform which is made up of one special tissue and its name is diaphragm. In addition to these, we are also going to explore how oxygen travels beyond the lungs. What is the role of red blood cells in transportation of oxygen gas? And how exchange of gases takes place at cellular level? With this, we are through with basic parts or the organs which are involved in human respiratory system. Now let us see the process of respiration. That is, what role do these parts play during the process of respiration? This process, the process of respiration, is basically divisible into two parts: external respiration and internal respiration. First, we shall see external respiration. This external respiration is nothing but just the breathing part of the process of respiration, and it deals with the inhalation of air till the exchange of gases at the alveoli part and back till the exhalation. As a part of external respiration, how does breathing occur? The taking in of air, which is rich in oxygen, into our body is called inhalation. This is inhalation. When we breathe in air, the diaphragm, it goes down and it increases the space in the chest cavity. The air from the atmosphere enters the lungs and they expand. On the other hand, the expelling of air, which is rich in carbon dioxide, from the lungs into the atmosphere, this is called exhalation. So when we breathe out, the diaphragm, it moves up, decreases the space in the chest cavity, and this forces the air out of the lungs. So this is how breathing occurs. How this diaphragm it works, let's learn about that also. Friends, this is the 360-degree view of diaphragm. It is present beneath the ribs and it is acting like a platform to hold lungs. Our lungs, they are very well protected with the help of rib cage and they are present on the top of this diaphragm. This diaphragm, it continuously expands and relaxes, and this helps in increasing and decreasing the space in the chest cavity, and this helps in inhalation and exhalation of air. To know about the practical application of diaphragm, let's watch this visual clue. The process of breathing in human beings, it is through lungs. They are well protected within the rib cage, and at the bottom of the rib cage there is present special tissue which is called as diaphragm, which expands and relaxes. The diaphragm, it goes down, lungs expands, and during exhalation the diaphragm, it pushes the lungs upward, and because of that there is exhalation. So what is the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the inhaled and exhaled here? Let's look at that also. So this table is giving us an idea about the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the inhaled air as well as in the exhaled air. This inhaled air, it also contains nitrogen and water vapors. But during respiration, there is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the environment and the body. So our focus is on the percentage volume of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled and exhaled air. Now I'm coming back to the external respiration. Let's know about the process of respiration in detail. To understand external respiration, we shall break it into three parts. First, in the nose. Second, from nose to lungs. Third, in the lungs. Let's start with the nose. As the air we breathe in, it passes through the nostrils. It is moistened by the slimy mucus present in the nose. Our nose, it has mucus and that is secreted by inner lining of the nose. Our nasal cavity, it has numerous very thin blood vessels also. So the air becomes warm by the blood circulating in the nose, and it has hairs also, very small nasal hairs also in the nasal cavity. So the mucus and the hair present inside our nasal cavity or nose, they trap dirt, dust particles and disease causing germs, thus preventing them from entering into the respiratory system. So nose, it acts like a filter, it acts like a heater, and it also acts like a humidifier, because when we exhale out, that exhaled air has water vapors also. So now let's see what is happening to the air when it is moving from nose to the lungs. So air which we are inhaling, it is passing through the nasal cavity and it is coming to this region called pharynx. Pharynx is a common passage for food pipe and windpipe. And from pharynx, this inhaled air, it has to move into the larynx part, the vocal cord part. And there is a flap which protects the windpipe. This flap is called epiglottis. Glottis is this open area. This is called glottis. And to cover this open area which goes down to the larynx, there is a flap called epiglottis. So epiglottis covers the windpipe. So the nose or the nasal cavity from which the air is passing down through pharynx. From pharynx, it is coming to larynx, which is our vocal cord, and from there it is entering into our windpipe. And the scientific name for windpipe is trachea. This trachea is a hollow tubular structure, but it is guarded from outside by C-shaped thick material which is made up of cartilage. This windpipe or trachea, it further divides into two, and they are called bronchi. Singular is called bronchus. So the trachea branches into two smaller tubes called bronchi, and each bronchus, it enters into respective lung. We have two lungs, left lung and right lung. So now the air has reached into lungs, flowing through different parts of the respiratory tract discussed in step 1 and step 2. Now let's understand about the fate of same inhaled air which is taking place in the lungs. In step 3, each bronchus is further divisible into smaller tubes of narrow diameter. It is branching, rebranching and forming bronchioles. So these are bronchioles. The ends of these bronchioles, they are sac-like or bag-like and they are called alveoli. Singular is called alveolus. These alveoli, they are surrounded by numerous very thin blood vessels called blood capillaries. So these alveoli, they are very important parts of the lungs. So let's see at alveolar level how the exchange of gases is taking place. Friends, these are two alveoli. Please pay attention to these symbols. The black color symbol is for carbon dioxide. This purple symbol is for red blood cell and this green symbol is for oxygen gas. You will pay attention. You will notice oxygen gas is coming into the alveoli and it is taken up by red blood cells and transported through blood vessels to different parts. Whereas carbon dioxide, it is released back into the alveoli and then it is going back and it will be exhaled out through nostrils. So the alveoli or the alveolar sac is the place where the actual exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. Now we have to understand about the second part of respiration, that is internal respiration or cellular respiration, which takes place at the cellular level or cell level. Now let's see how this oxygen is transported by red blood cells. See children, this is red blood cell and within this red blood cell there is present one special pigment which is called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, it binds with the oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin and this reaction gives red color to our red blood corpuscles. So oxygen from lungs, it is taken up by red blood cells. Then this oxygen, it binds with hemoglobin pigment and it is taken up by these red blood cells to each and every part of the body, each and every cell. So this is how red blood cells, they are helping in transportation of oxygen. Now this oxygen has reached at the cell level. So what is happening at the cell level? So at the cellular level, the cells, they absorb oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. On way back, blood carries this CO2 or carbon dioxide gas to the alveoli. So this is continuous process. Oxygen is continuously coming to the blood capillaries and carbon dioxide is continuously passed out into the alveolus. And this carbon dioxide which comes into the alveolus, it is further pushed to the bronchioles, then into bronchus, trachea and finally CO2 is expelled by the body So, with this, we are through with the parts as well as the process of respiration in human beings. Now, I want my viewers to pay attention to this visual clue, which is dealing with the complete process of respiration starting from breathing. We are inhaling oxygen rich air through our nostrils. It is moving down through our windpipe or trachea. It is going to the each lung through bronchi, and each bronchus is further divisible into bronchioles. Each bronchiole is ending into an air sac, which is called alveolus. Alveolus has thick covering of blood capillaries, and this is the place where exchange of gases is taking place. Oxygen, which is coming through in the inhaled air, it is coming into the blood capillaries. It is absorbed by the red blood corpuscles or red blood cells, and this is leading to formation of oxyhemoglobin, and it is giving red color to our red blood cells. In the same process, we have carbon dioxide. This inhalation and exhalation is a continuous process, so carbon dioxide is also coming into the blood vessels. That carbon dioxide is push back through the same bronchiole to the bronchus, then to windpipe, that is trachea, and then it's exhaled out. So this is what is exactly happening during the process of respiration. And now you can very comfortably differentiate between breathing and cellular respiration. First point is nature of process. Breathing in and breathing out, it's a physical process. There is only exchange of gases, no chemical reaction is taking place. Whereas in the cellular respiration, chemical reaction is taking place, and that is oxidation of food. Second point of difference is place. Breathing is taking place between nose to lungs. Sometimes we do breathe from mouth also, but we don't have to, because nose help us to keep a check on dirt, dust particle, and disease causing organisms. So always breathe through your nose. Cellular respiration is taking place in each and every living cell of an organism. Third parameter is energy. There is no release of energy when we are breathing in or breathing out. But there is release of energy during cellular respiration, and that energy is utilized by living beings to carry out various life processes. In this video, we have not only covered one segment of this chapter, but we have learnt about our own respiratory system. Now you will be able to justify these four things. First, why smoking is injurious to health? Because smoking leads to choking of those air sacs called alveoli, and it reduces the lungs capacity. Active and passive smoking both are not good for our health. Now you also know mask reduces the chances of COVID infection because it also acts like one layer of defense. It acts like a filter. Fourth thing is health of lungs directly affect the general health of the individual. So to stay healthy, you take care of your lungs, they will take care of your body. So that's it for this video. It's time to summarize the content. In this video, you learned about human respiratory system, its various parts, their position, structure, and function. You also learned about the process involved in human respiration. It is basically divisible into two stages, external respiration and internal respiration. Now it's time to share some important questions based on the content of this video. And I suggest you all to go through these three questions. They will not only help you to prepare this part of the chapter for your annual examination, but this will also help you to enrich your vision about your respiratory system, and it will also help you to prepare for various competitive exams, including NEET. And next time, whenever you will tune into my channel BioHub, I'm going to upload fourth part of chapter number 10, respiration in organisms. And in that, I'm going to cover types of respiration and certain interesting activities related to respiration. So I want you to join me there also. So now it's time to wind up this video. I want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel, staying tuned to BioHub, and coming up with your suggestions and observations in the comment section. If you are a new viewer, I welcome you and I want to suggest you that please do subscribe to my channel. It will help me to keep you updated about my subsequent videos. And all those viewers who are frequently watching my videos, please do subscribe to my channel. If you are finding it interesting, then please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and do share the link of my channel with your fellow friends. I'm sure it will be of some help to them also. With this, I'm signing out. It's a bye from your facilitator, Dr. Seema Sharma. But stay tuned to my channel and keep exploring about biology with me. Bye.